Viscount Hilsham made a very eloquent and very powerful speech. If I'd closed my eyes, I might have thought I was listening to his father. But, my lords, he didn't, however, despite his eloquence, go very deeply into the detail of his amendment. And I wish to support what the noble Lord Howarth and my noble friend Lord Howard has said. The first part of the amendment, sections 1 to 3, you might argue, roughly and broadly mirrors what the government itself has outlined. The resolution in the House of Commons, the withdrawal bill, primary legislation, and trying to get a vote before the European Parliament has actually voted. But what the noble Viscount has inserted is then a series of triggers with rigid dates. The withdrawal, the vote of approval, if it has not taken place by November the 30th, if the Act of Parliament has not received royal assent by the 31st of January, and if the withdrawal agreement has not been agreed by the 28th of February, then a whole lot of things happen. And as the noble Lord Howarth highlighted, what happens is that the House of Commons then effectively, or Parliament, takes over the negotiations and can impose conditions. And this is a most extraordinary thing. It's never been the case before, ever, that Parliament has dictated how a government should negotiate a treaty. But this is what would be happening under the provisions of the amendment. And as the noble Lord Howard said, Parliament could dictate all sorts of things. It might dictate that the Article 50 notice be withdrawn. It might dictate, although it would be subject perhaps to dispute, that Article 50 was extendable. This would be for Parliament to assume extraordinary powers in a way that has never happened before. It would be a major constitutional innovation. Secondly, the timetable with these rigid dates is extremely tight. Between the resolution being passed in the House of Commons and the Act requiring to get royal assent is only a period of 7 weeks. It might easily be the case that the royal assent could not be obtained in 7 weeks. They've shortened the timetable by a month. Then it would be very questionable whether royal assent could be obtained during that period. And, of course, it would be open to the Lords to filibuster in order to frustrate the time limit. So that, again, would be another very considerable problem. What it seems to me this would do is to make it very much more difficult for the government to negotiate when the EU could see that we were up against all these rigid dates. It would make negotiation very, very difficult indeed. And then there is in the amendment the difference in the wording, as has already been referred to by the exchange between Lord Hannay and my noble friend Lord Howard, the wording between the House of Commons and the House of Lords. The House of Lords, it is said, has got to have consideration of a motion in the Lords. Well, this too, I think, effectively gives the House of Lords a veto, because if you consult Erskine May, page 496 in the 24th edition, it makes it perfectly clear that it is open to the House of Lords not to consider a motion. Let me read what it says. It is open to any Lord to call attention to a question or motion which has appeared on the order paper or in the House of Lords business, and to move that leave to put the question or move the motion be not given, or that it be removed from the House of Lords business. So again, it would be possible for the House of Lords not to do what is required in the amendment and to actually sabotage the whole process. My Lords, it seems to me that this amendment must be rejected. It gives extraordinary powers to, it gives extraordinary powers to Parliament. It will make the negotiation very much more difficult. And most ironically of all, I think the other side are terrified there will be no deal. This would make no deal highly likely.